Hi guys, welcome back to another video on Angular 17 tutorial series. This is the sixth part. In this part, I'll talk about new control flow added in Angular 17, and these concepts were not added in the previous versions of Angular. In the previous video of this tutorial series, I talked about the directives, structured directives, ngIf, ngFor, ngSwitch cases. So those were also part of the previous versions of Angular. But this part is very important because this makes things pretty simpler, and this is newly added in this version. So this is the new project of Angular 17 I've just created with the name 3.control flow, and you can see that this component is by default created when we create a new Angular 17 project, and this is the HTML file. I'm going to remove everything and I'm going to print the title just to see if everything is showing up. You can see that this value is being shown up, coming up from here. All right, so now let's quickly start off with the if-else statements which are added in Angular 17. So first of all, in this component, I'm going to create three variables: a equals to 2, b equals to 3, c equals to 4. Since we are using TypeScript, it's good that we add the types for each variable. So this variable is of type number. All right, so 2, 3, 4 are the values I've just added. So now inside the HTML, I can add this @ sign, and it is going to give me the if statement. All right, and after this, if you have some understanding about JavaScript, you must have learned these if statements. So I'm going to add a condition: if a is greater than b, and inside this curly braces I can add a is greater than b. All right, so let's see what it prints. So now you can see that it has not printed anything because a is not greater than b, 2 is not greater than 3. All right, so I can add an else statement as well. So after this, I can add else if b is greater than a. All right, so here I can write a is less than b. So this is going to get printed because b is equals to 3 and a equals to 2, so 3 is greater than a. And if this condition is going to get true, then the value inside this is going to get printed. So now you can see that it has printed 2 is less than 3 because this condition have returned true because 3 is greater than 2. Okay, and we can add any else if statements, any number of else if statement as we want, but at the end we can have else statement. If none of the conditions added above are true, then this else statement is going to get executed. So add else, then I'm going to write a is equal to b, and I added this c variable actually. Okay, this one, and we can use that if we want. I just added that. So now again the same is going to get printed. So whenever the previous conditions are getting true, then all the rest of the statements will not be executed. If this gets true, then it will leave all the next statements, and if it gets false, it is going to check the next statement. If it gets true, then this is going to get printed and it's going to leave all the rest of the statements. If none of the above two statements are true, then this is going to get executed. So we can add as much statements of if, else if, else if, else if, and else as we want. All right, so this was all about if statements using the if directive. And let me know, in the previous video I talked about ngIf, ngFor, ngSwitch cases. So let me know which one is better. This one is better or the previous way of handling different things were better. I find this is more convenient, and this is pretty much similar to the TypeScript conditional statements as we want, so it's easy to learn actually. All right, so now let's talk about the for statement in order to iterate through multiple elements. So in my component, I'm going to create a new variable. Let's add this variable items, and this is an array of objects. So items in an array, and each object is containing the ID and then the name, and these are the random values inside it, item 1, item 2, item 3, and these are the different IDs. Okay, so I'm going to save this file. Let's come back over here, and after this if condition, I'm going to iterate through each of the values of that array. So just like the if statement, I can add for, and after this I can run through those values inside that array. So I can write item of items, and this items is referring to the variable name which we have added over here, items. Okay, and after this we need to add track. This avoids a lot of errors, so I would recommend you guys to always add the track, because it makes sure that all the IDs are unique coming in from that array. Okay, it can have an object. Okay, so this one is added, and now just like the if statement, I can add this curly braces and I can add item dot name. So let's save it. Let's go, let's refresh, let's save it again so that it compiles and build properly. And now you can see that it has printed. Let me comment everything above like this so that you can see it properly. Right, so you can see that it has printed item 1, item 2, item 3, and this is where it is coming from. All right, so just like the previous video, ngFor directive, I fetched the ID from an index. Okay, so I can add that as well. So I can add let I equals to $index, and I can print the I over here as well. Now you will see that it is going to print 0, 1, 2, just like this. So along with this index, we are provided with more variables just like this $index. So for that, I can add semicolon, and let's create a new variable equals to, and it gives us the dollar, and we can have the count. Okay, so count is going to give us the number of values exist inside this array items. So after this, I can add the total. So let's save it. Now you'll see that it's going to print 3. It doesn't seem convenient to use this variable over here, but if we are rendering any child component, which I'm going to talk about in the coming videos, then this is going to be very convenient to pass the number of values exist inside this array down to the child component. Okay, for now I'm just going to remove this part. So just like this count or index, we are provided with more variables. You can try that out yourself. So these are the things. So first one, it's going to give us the first value exists inside this array directly. We don't need to manually check the first indexed value. So just like the first, we are provided with the last. Okay, and then we are provided with the even. So what are the even values exist? So even is not like 2, 4, 3, the even indexed value. So you can see this is the 0, 1 will be neglected, and this is the 2. So 0 and this first and third one is going to get showing up. Okay, so now we can have the odd as well. All right, so let me comment this for now. So that's pretty much it for this add for statement. Okay, so now let's talk about the switch statement. So for now, I'm going to comment this thing like this. Okay, so after this, let's create a new variable over here, and I'm going to create grade of type C. All right, this is the new variable I've just created, and here I'm going to use @switch, and here, and you can see that the syntax it is providing us is similar to the JavaScript, and JavaScript is the prerequisite of this course. You should have some understanding about JavaScript before watching this particular crash course. Okay, so here inside this grade, we can have the case. So I'm using the tab 9 AI assistant, so it is understanding that I might be using JavaScript, but I'm not. I'm using the Angular 17, so it has to update itself. So I'm not going to select anything it is suggesting. So, but you can install the Tab 9 AI Assistant extension of VS Code. It is going to help you a lot to quickly write the code. Sometimes it gives you the right code, sometimes it gives you the wrong code, which you need to care about for that. So rather than writing case, I need to write at. So case, curly braces, actually parentheses, a. All right. So if it is a, then within these curly braces, we can print anything. So P equals to the excellent. All right. So after this, I can write B, and here I can write P equals to good, and then we can have the case C. P equals to, if the grade is C, then I'm going to print bad, and by the end I can write the default, and this is going to be the unknown. All right, so I'm going to save it. Now you will see that it is going to print bad because the value of grade is added C over here. So it checked the first case, that if the case is A, it is not, so it is not going to print excellent. It is not B, it is C, then it's going to print this particular section. Okay, and it is going to ignore the rest of the coming up these default statements over here. All right, so this is pretty simple, and this syntax is newly added, as I've said, and it is pretty simple. So we are not going to be using the ngIf, ngFor, ngSwitch, but there are some cases I am thinking about that the previous syntax might be useful, but in most of the cases I'll be using this particular structure for handling if statements, for iterating through the elements, and for checking the switch statements. All right, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you have got an idea how to use these concepts in Angular 17. If you have liked my videos, do subscribe my channel and do like this video as well. So stay tuned. See you in the next video.